Hey everybody, before we get into this 10-minute review of John Wick 3, I just want to let you know about our sponsor. It's a film called Sir John A. and the Curse of the Anti-Quenched. It stars John Dunsworth from Trailer Park Boys, Spenny from Kenny vs. Spenny, and the Diener from Foombar. You can check it out on iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you get your movies. Check out curseoftheantiquenched.com. Search it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all over that. And you can check out a trailer. And again, that's curseoftheantiquenched.com. Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick 10-minute review of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. And I'm going to hit the 10-minute timer now. All right, Matt, what did you think of John Wick 3?
It was actiony.
It was action scene to action scene, eh?
It really was. I mean, I will say that whole beginning was pretty darn tootin' good. I enjoyed that whole beginning, like the knife scene, in that store. Oh man,
You know what?
it's just pure action fun.
You know what I liked about the start was that there's this time thing, like, oh, this hit is going to affect in X amount of time. And
Yeah.
that guy finds him in the library, right? And he's like, nobody's going to know if I kill you like a minute or two early. And then John Wick beats him up with the book because John Wick does things by the book. That sort of symbolism. I don't know if they meant for that, but like I was like, ooh, it's like a little heavy-handed symbolism, like literally doing it by the book.
Right. I didn't catch that. I just thought he was beating someone with a book. I mean, the first one they all talk about, like John Wick could kill someone with a pencil.
Yeah.
And the third one just takes that to the other thing. Like, yeah, he can kill people with books, horses,
all the school supplies.
Anything you can think of. I think this one is probably one of my favorite out of all the John Wicks, as well as just, I don't know. It just seems they're having more fun with it as the series keeps going.
And getting better. Like it's like they're just fine-tuning something really good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's both a good thing and a bad thing. For John Wick 3, I was expecting like a conclusion and we didn't get one, so I was kind of disappointed in that. But at the same time, I'm excited for a fourth one. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe it's time to put it to bed. It's like a weird, you know what I'm talking about? Like, because what if 4 sucks?
Yeah,
then we're left with
you
the
hope
sucky
it,
one. But
yeah.
but what if 4 is good? Then I'm fine with that. You know?
No, I get that.
So,
I was half hoping, and maybe they'll still do it in 4, but when they're like, oh, you got to meet this secret guy out in the desert or whatever, and he's like the head of like the organization, I was really hoping it was going to be Carrie-Anne Moss. Because, like, they already have Lawrence Fishburne. They have the Keymaker. They have Keanu.
Right.
Why not just have the rest of the Matrix cast, you know?
just gotta wait for the next one. You know, they're just gonna add more and more Matrix people in there.
Why not, right? Like, or Agent Smith, what's his face there from the Matrix?
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving. Like, why not him, too? Like, we love
Throw
that.
them all in there. Throw them all in there. I will say, Keanu Reeves in this one goes through a lot of glass.
Right?
There's a lot of, especially that last scene, but like there's a lot of glass. John Wick going through glass. It's crazy on that. That at a certain point I thought they were gonna make a joke out of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I still enjoyed it, although it's going beyond that point. Like the first one felt more realistic. And then the second one, you're like, okay. And then this one, you're like, okay.
It gets, like, it's become...
You really got to get into that disbelief. Like that, especially, like, the final scene where he, like, F's off, like, falls off the roof.
Yeah, he felt like Captain America falls off shit.
Right? Like, he's dead. Like, he is dead. There is no way that John Wick is alive to say, yeah.
Right? Or...
Are you pissed off, John? Yeah.
Like, I stubbed my toe like on the corner of my bed, and I'm like, I need a minute, you know?
Right? I don't know. Like in that respect, it's a movie you kind of got to switch your brain off a bit. I mean, it's both a good thing and a bad thing. Like in terms of plot, is there really one except for just John Wick kills things? Not really.
No, and
Not
you go into
really.
that knowing that you know it's going from set piece to set piece, right?
Exactly. It's just one fight choreography to another fight choreography. I will say I'm liking the choreography a little bit more. It feels more like I feel like Jackie Chan is choreographing these fights.
Very
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like
yeah.
Jackie Chan's got a way of like putting humor in his fighting style.
Yeah, it's almost like a dance in a way. Like it's got
Yeah,
like
and
a beginning, middle, end, and
but I
you,
like I like the comical aspect that they do pertaining to the action scene. Like some of the action scenes are actually really funny in just like the way, I don't know, it feels very Jackie Chan-y to me, and that's not a bad thing.
no,
I like the
I
Jackie
get
Chan
that,
types
or
of
I
fights.
just
It
like
makes
that
it's
Eastern influence,
interesting.
anyways. Like like Asian cinema has, and just even how they film a lot of it too. Like whereas Hollywood, right? Like normally you gotta film everything close
Yeah.
up, and it sort of sucks because of that. But because Keanu Reeves is basically like a secret agent now that
Yeah,
knows
pretty
kung fu,
much.
he can do all these stunts, and that's why it looks so good, I think.
That's another thing too, right? It's no Taken 3 where like you need 15 shots for Liam Neeson to jump a fence. I will say, so like I know we both agree on this, so I'm gonna go in a little thing. When I watched it, it was one of the worst theater experiences ever.
Do tell.
So like we go in there and there's just a bunch of kids, like these like teenagers, like just dominating the movie theater. I'm
No.
like, what the hell is going on? Like in the beginning, like there was like security at the door, like just like right before we entered the actual like cinema, like the theater we're going to go in. And I'm like, what is going on? And at one point, like my friend apparently saw like one of these teenagers with like a cap gun and like just shooting it around. I'm like, what the hell? And then
No.
like when the movie just about started, like all these like teenagers just took on the fronts, like all the front seats. They're all in the front. And they're like rowdy, and everyone just keeps getting up, and you can see them getting up because of
Oh.
like they're right in front of the screen. I will say I don't think that door out from outside, because the door kept opening and flashing a bright light on the side of the screen. I don't think that door stayed closed more than a couple minutes.
Really? They're just in and
People
out?
were constantly in and out. And then about halfway through, security came in with like lights and stuff and took out all the teenagers.
Really?
Gone. I'm like, what is going on?
Jeez. I would have been so upset.
Something happened, man, but it was so distracting.
I would have been so upset. I would have asked for like a free something.
I mean, it's not a movie. Like if it was any other movie, but this one, just because you don't really need to follow like all the little tiny little things. You know what I mean? Like it's not as bad, but I was just like, man, crazy movie theater experience. Like people were coming in late, like and not just like teenagers, like old people, young people. Like just, that door never closed. It
I do.
never
I do
shut.
share that sentiment a bit. Like, man, like I don't know what's happened in the last like 5 years, but just people can't stay off their phones. Like,
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, talking about phones, all you can see is like them turning on their phone to try to see where they're supposed to be seated. Is
oh,
the most annoying thing ever. Like flash of light, especially when they're right in front. Flash of light, flash of light. Like they just kept leaving. I am under suspicion that they were leaving and bringing in their friends to bring like to just sit more people. That is my theory as to what the heck was going
like they
on.
bought 2 tickets and then one person went in, the two went in, one went out, kind of thing.
Something like
Oh man, I could talk like forever about how much I hate like the etiquette of common moviegoers these days. But I do want to talk a bit about the dog scenes with Halle Berry, and because
yeah.
most of John Wick, it's a stunt with the stunt guys, and there is like an element of like there's wires painted out, or it's a rehearsed stunt. But there
Yeah.
is when the dog scenes happen and people are getting bitten in the crotch or bitten on the arms. I know these are trained dogs and they're trained stuntmen, but there is something still so real about those scenes.
Yeah,
And like,
I know what you're talking about. Like those are real dogs biting real people.
yeah, there's
Sure
no
that there might be
CGI.
some padding, but that still bites, man.
Yeah, it's still a dog bite from a German Shepherd, and like that hurts. Like people, you can like get really hurt from that if it just misses the padding a bit, or
Oof.
I don't know. Like while I was watching that, there's a few times where I was the loud person, like "ooh" in the theater, just. But
I mean, I will say, yeah, the dog scenes have made it interesting, right? It's nice to see movies that are all action, but every time I watch it, it's always something new.
yeah,
so it always feels fresh to me. And yeah, the dog scene really adds
because
that.
like the horse kicks, like it felt like a bit of an effect. Like you knew it was.
Oh yeah,
You
It's
knew
still-
it was
it's
the
still
horse
like a,
kicking on one
"Ooh!"
take, and then like them pulling somebody back on another, and then it's like a blending in post. Whereas the dog bites, like when you follow them on such a long take,
Yeah.
and they get bit, like
And
that's
you see
not an
them, like,
effect.
just
That's
lingering and just biting those guys.
it's
Yeah.
pretty wild, and you can only imagine like the fear and anticipation as a stuntman. Like it's one thing to know, like, okay, I'm gonna fall down this thing, but knowing that this animal who you can't talk with before and be like, hey man, like, you know, maybe on this take, don't hit me so hard in the groin. It's the dog being like, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there goes our 10-minute timer.
There it goes.
Both Matt and I loved John Wick 3. And if you want to message us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and let us know what you thought of the film, feel free to do so, and tell your friends about the podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and we'll be back with a Spider-Man 3 one soon.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.